Hi there on Verified tonight at 10 p.m. on NDTV. The first lead today is a very sad story, disturbing story, as horrific as the Nirbhaya gang rape. 10 years later, despite the High Court giving them a death verdict, the Supreme Court has overturned the verdict and has set the accused free. Where does this leave the family of the girl? Where does this leave the justice for the victim who was brutalized, killed, her body burnt? I will be speaking to the parents on what they are thinking and is there still some fight left. We'll also talk about superstar turned, politician Pawan Kalyan. You've seen that viral video that has gone, crazy on internet. What message is he sending on road safety and shouldn't he be booked? The third is the EWS quota. Everybody's talking about it. I will explain it in the words that you can understand. Stay with us. Coming to you in just a short while from the studio. Good evening, welcome. This is Verified on NDTV. I am Ankit Tyagi. Ladies and gentlemen, the show where we keep your interests supreme, the stories that really touch a chord with you. Let's start this evening with a breaking news which is coming in at this moment. Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra has entered Maharashtra. In fact, these are the latest visuals that we are getting at this moment. What you can see here is Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra, which has been in fact on for the last couple of months, is now entering Maharashtra. A Mashal Julus was in fact was taken out with this. Now the Bharat Jodo Yatra Maharashtra leg is being seen very important. It will also be a leg where Rahul Gandhi is in fact going to have a lot of support from in fact the other political parties in Maharashtra, the Gadbandhan Sarkar that was going on in Maharashtra. We are expecting Uddhav Shiv Sena to join him. We are expecting NCP to join him. These are the visuals which have been in fact tweeted by Rahul Gandhi's Youth Congress. It was the Congress Party's Youth Congress President Srinivas has tweeted these visuals where Rahul Gandhi can also be seen in fact walking. So from southern India, Rahul Gandhi now in fact reaching western India, and now the Yatra has reached Maharashtra. Important leg for Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra. We'll get you more details on this as he progresses in Maharashtra. But let's quickly shift our focus and go across, in fact, at this moment to our big lead, our top story. The Supreme Court today, ladies and gentlemen, has freed 3 men who were convicted of gang rape and brutal murder of a 19-year-old woman in February 2012. She was returning from her residence when she was kidnapped, and 4 days later her brutally burnt body was found. This happened months before the Nirbhaya rape case, in fact, shook the entire country. It was in December 2012 when that case took place. But let me very quickly tell you what the Supreme Court, in fact, said today. The 3 convicts have been called perpetrators by the Delhi High Court and the lower court, which had given them death penalty. So from death penalty to walking free. That's the big change which has taken place. What was the case? The Chhawla gang rape and murder case. On 9 February 2012, this 19-year-old girl was kidnapped while she was returning from work. She worked in a call center, was coming back home when these perpetrators, in fact, picked her up and kidnapped her. The victim's the body was found in a field in Haryana's Rewari, many kilometers from the national capital. And the victim was mercilessly attacked with car tools and other, in fact, objects as well. You can't imagine the horror that this woman, in fact, witnessed in the last moments of her life. Now, what did the Delhi police, in fact, say? The accused abducted, raped and killed the victim, dumped her body. And the Delhi police also, in fact, used electronic forensic surveillance and other evidences to ensure that the victim get the justice, at least in the lower court. Now, the lower court convicted the 3 men, sentenced them to death, which was on 26 August 2014 upheld by the Delhi High Court. The Delhi High Court upheld this judgment. Then the matter went to the Supreme Court. The High Court at that moment had said the convicts were hunters roaming the streets looking for prey. Very, very harsh words there being used by the Delhi High Court as well. After this, the matter went to the Supreme Court, and now on November 7th, 2022, can you imagine? These three perpetrators, those who were on death row, have not only their entire judgment, the High Court and the lower court judgment has been overturned, they have been set free. Yes, you heard me right, set free, free to go. They can walk out from the Tihar jail and go home. What would it leave the family with? It's hard to imagine what a family goes through. I tried to understand, has it completely shaken, broken their trust for justice? I spoke to them just a short while back. Listen it.
मैं आप दोनों से सबसे पहले ये पूछना चाहता हूँ, आज सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जो फैसला आया, कोर्ट के फैसले पर जब तक फैसला पढ़े ना टिप्पणी करना मुश्किल होगा, लेकिन उन माँ बाप के लिए जिन्होंने 10 साल ये लड़ाई लड़ी है, उसके लिए आज ये कोर्ट का फैसला कितना बड़ा झटका था?
आज सुबह जब मैं कल परसों मेरे को मैसेज मिला, फ़ोन हुआ आया कि मतलब 7 तारीख को जो है फाइनल डिसीजन सुप्रीम कोर्ट का है। आज सुबह में जब घर से निकला तो मैं कुछ अति प्रसन्न था कि आज हमें न्याय मिलेगा, और न्याय जो आएगा तो हमारे फैसला जो आएगा वो हमारे हक में आएगा, और हक में आना चाहिए था, वो आया नहीं है। क्यों नहीं आया, कारण क्या है उसका, ये तो जज जानते हैं, लॉयर जानते हैं। लेकिन जब लोअर कोर्ट से फांसी का ऑर्डर हो गया, वहाँ भी फाइल बनी है, वो फाइल जो है ट्रांसफ़र हाई कोर्ट हुआ है। हाई कोर्ट का जब फाइल पड़ी हाई कोर्ट ने, तो वो उसके बाद उन्होंने अपना डिसीजन दिया है, वहाँ से भी फाइल ट्रांसफ़र सुप्रीम कोर्ट हुआ है। अब सुप्रीम कोर्ट फाइनल होता है जैसे कि एक मैच होता है कि फाइनल मैच, सुप्रीम कोर्ट फाइनल है। सुप्रीम कोर्ट इतनी बड़ी सुप्रीम कोर्ट राजधानी के बीच में, राजधानी में, और जो है कि एक इस तरह का डिसीजन इतना जल्दी ले लिया उन्होंने कि मतलब जिसने क्राइम करा उसी का सपोर्ट किया उन्होंने जी, जबकि सपोर्ट मुझे करना था, मेरी बच्ची को करना था, उनको मेरे बच्चे को न्याय दिलाना था, और मुलजिम को फांसी करनी थी। अगर फांसी नहीं हो सकती है, उम्र कैद में बदल देते तब भी हमें तसल्ली थी। लेकिन इन्हें तो ऐसा फैसला किया है कि जो आज तक मैंने, मेरी इतनी उम्र होगी, आज तक मैंने ये फैसला किसी भी कानून में और किसी भी कोर्ट में नहीं सुना कि जो जिस पे बीती है उसी के सर में इन्होंने थोप दिया और अब मुलजिम जो है वो फ्री कर दिए।
अब सवाल क्योंकि सुप्रीम कोर्ट के डिसीजन के बाद ये होगा कि आपकी बेटी को क्या किसी ने नहीं मारा, क्योंकि यही 3 अभियुक्त थे जी, और इनको अब छोड़ दिया गया है। अब कोर्ट देखेगा कि इसमें क्या क्या सबूत थे। लेकिन आपने आज लगा आपको कि शायद आपकी निराशा हुई, आपकी बेटी को पूरा न्याय नहीं मिल पाया?
हाँ बिल्कुल निराशा हुई है हमको, न्याय नहीं मिला। तो कौन मारा मेरी बेटी को? जिंदा तो है नहीं, जिंदा होती तो मेरे पास होती। अब उन पर भी तो उंगली उठ सकती है।
क्योंकि मैं समझ सकता हूँ आप लोगों को इस बात का गुस्सा बहुत है, जो भी
बहुत गुस्सा आ रहा है। क्यों है, मतलब जब लोअर कोर्ट से हाई कोर्ट से फैसला आ रखा तो ये यहाँ आके उन्होंने उनको बरी कैसे कर दिया। ये छोटे मोटे चोरी चकारी तो है नहीं, ये मर्डर केस है, रेप केस है, सब चीज़ कर रखा, किडनैपिंग है। पहले तो चलो फांसी की सज़ा सुनाते, नहीं तो आजीवन कारावास सुनाते, उम्र कैद सुनाते, उसमें थोड़ा तसल्ली हो भी जाती। एकदम से उन्होंने ऐसे बली कर दिया कि जैसे इन्होंने कुछ किया ही नहीं, साफ सूफ होंगे। तो इसमें तो इनसे बड़े दरिंदे तो वही है ना जिन्होंने फैसला सुनाया।
सुप्रीम कोर्ट के बारे में कुछ कहना बिल्कुल उचित नहीं, लेकिन ये बात भी सही है कि इस समय आप उस माँ बाप से बात कर रहे हैं जिन्होंने अपनी बच्ची को खो दिया। वो आज ये सवाल पूछ रहे हैं कि कौन है, हु इफ दीज गाइज डिड नॉट देन हु किल्ड देयर डॉटर इज द बिग क्वेश्चन। लेकिन आपकी बड़ी लंबी लड़ाई रही है, आमना सामना उन अभियुक्तों से आपका हमेशा होता रहा होगा, कोर्ट में भी देखे होंगे आप लोग, हमेशा कोर्ट में भी जाते थे।
लोअर कोर्ट में बराबर जब तक जितने हेयरिंग हुई है लोअर कोर्ट में बराबर दिखते थे, क्योंकि वहाँ पर उनको पेश किया जाता था। और वो जो है कि
कभी कुछ कहते थे आप लोगों से?
बिल्कुल कहते थे, धमकी देते थे, इशारों से धमकी देते थे, इशारों से मतलब जो है कि मार काट करने की कहते थे। और मैं तो ये समझ रहा हूँ कि मतलब आज सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जो फैसला दिया है उनके पक्ष में, लेकिन हमारे विषय में कुछ नहीं सोचा। हाँ, आप मान लो कल मान लो ये फ्री हो जाते हैं तो हमारा क्या होगा? क्या हमारे पड़ोसी का होगा, हमारे कॉलोनी का होगा? क्योंकि कॉलोनी वालों ने सपोर्ट किया। कॉलोनी में ये जो है कि किसी भी घर में घुस सकते हैं, ये नहीं कि मतलब इनको जो क्रिमिनल होता है उसको एक बार इतने बड़े क्राइम में उसको फ्री कर दिया सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने, तो उसके हौसले बुलंद हो जाते हैं।
डर है आप लोगों को?
दहशत पूरी हमें डर है। मैं तो आज मैं जब से कोर्ट का डिसीजन बाहर, मैं तो पार्क में था, जब तक बाहर डिसीजन ओपन हुआ है जब से मेरे को मतलब दिमाग काम नहीं कर रहा है कि मतलब हम लोग जाएं तो जाएं कहाँ। कोर्ट ने हमारे विषय में नहीं सोचा और उनके विषय में सोचा।
जी जी जी, आपको मैं सुन रहा था, लग रहा है कि आज हार गए आप लोग। इतने दिनों की लड़ाई में, बेटी को न्याय दिलाने में आज हार सामने हो गई।
हाँ, लग रहा बिल्कुल कि हमसे 10 साल की मेहनत हमारी बेकार चली गई। जैसे हम 10 साल पहले खुद ही मर जाते तो कम से कम ये लड़ाई तो नहीं लड़नी पड़ती, हार का मुंह तो नहीं देखना पड़ता। ये होता कि चलो भाई मर गए तो कौन लड़ेगा। तो इसमें तो बिल्कुल निराशा हो गया, हताश हो गया हम तो। उम्मीद टूट गई।
आगे कानूनी लड़ाई लड़ेंगे, आप हिम्मत रखिए। आगे कानूनी आपके पास अभी, क्योंकि बचे हैं ऑप्शंस हैं अभी कानून के, आप लड़ेंगे आगे लड़ाई?
जब तो सांस चल रही तब तो लड़ेंगे ही। जब सांस थम जाएगी तो उसके बाद तो कुछ कह नहीं सकते। पर ये जब तक है तो लड़ना तो पड़ेगा ही। जब 11 साल लड़े तो 1-2 साल और सही। बाकी उम्मीद है हम कि क्या पता आगे कानून को मतलब कहीं पे गलती हो गई, चूक हो गई, फाइल पड़ी नहीं, क्या करा, थोड़ा दोबारा से एक बार विचार विमर्श करना चाहिए सर, मतलब कानून को भी। तो ये सोचते कि एक बार फिर दोबारा से फाइल खुलवाए अपनी।
तो निर्भया के बाद इतना देश आक्रोशित था, लगा था कि कानून बदल रहा है, उसके बाद अब ये इस तरह की घटना हुई है। आपको लगता है कि इससे क्या मैसेज एक बाहर जाएगा? क्या एक बाहर लोग सोचेंगे इस बारे में कि
निर्भया का केस 16 दिसंबर 2012 का है
जी,
और ये उससे पहले का 9 फरवरी 2012 का है।
जी।
चलो आगे पीछे छोटा बड़ा इसमें अंतर का कंपटीशन नहीं होता, लेकिन जो है सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जो फैसला होना चाहिए था, मुलजिम को फांसी होनी चाहिए। निर्भया केस जो था वो जो है एक वीआईपी केस था।
There are completely broken, shattered parents, those who have zero hope right now. They still have some legal options. They will exercise that. But this, ladies and gentlemen, is, two questions that people are asking. If these people did not kill their daughter, who has killed their daughter? Has nobody brutalized and killed her? And the big question that we are asking here is, what message are we sending to the women in India about their safety? Let's move on to the second lead here on Verified. Since the morning, you've been hearing the Supreme Court verdict, the 10% EWS quota for jobs, which has been upheld by the Supreme Court. Let me very quickly break it all down for you and just make it simpler for you to understand what actually has happened. EWS, Economic Weaker Section Quota, the 10% quota in jobs education has been upheld by a majority verdict by the Supreme Court. The constitutional validity of the 103rd Amendment has also been upheld by the bench. 3-2 was the division as far as the bench is concerned, 3 in favor, 2 against. Interestingly, Chief Justice UU Lalit and Justice Ravindra Bhatt are the dissenting judges. EWS quota, this is what they said, cannot be treated at par with the general category. That was the majority view as far as this verdict is concerned. Now, it also doesn't violate the basic structure of the Constitution. That also was the majority view among the 5-judge bench. The Constitution doesn't allow exclusion. That is what Justice Ravindra Bhatt with his dissent note has said. And reservation is instrument for affirmative action is what the majority view in this entire case has, in fact, the majority view of the bench has been. Now, quota for the poor among the forward classes has been cleared by the Supreme Court today. What is this quota? Very quickly, just a quick, explainer for you. This is 10% quota in jobs education for the poor, economically backward people. Those with up to 8 lakh rupees annual income can avail this quota. The scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, OBCs who already get reservation are not covered in this quota. So basically, this is for the so-called general categories. This quota would be benefiting them. The EWS quota brings forward the caste poor in the quota ambit. Centre had cleared this in 2019, in fact, and nearly 40 petitions had challenged this. For that, now it's curtains on those petitions challenge. Now, after this quota's implementation, let me very quickly tell you, and this is very interesting, how does the entire big reservation pie chart of India looks? The big pie where through reservation that people have been in fact talking about. Now, just take a look at this. Already, there is a 15%. There is a 15% scheduled tribes, scheduled caste, in fact, quota. Add to it the 7.5 scheduled tribes in quota. OBCs get about 27%, quota. And apart from that, now add to this a 10% economically weaker section quota. So the quota ceiling, which a larger bench has put at 50, has already been breached. Now, the quota ceiling is now touching about 60% in most states, whereas there are many other states, ladies and gentlemen, which already have breached that ceiling even before this was enacted. So now, what does this mean? It also means, ladies and gentlemen, that the Supreme Court's 50% ceiling is, which was inflexible, now no longer, applies as far as after this verdict is concerned. Now, what is the political impact? Because trust me, this is not the last that you have heard on it, and especially with the political parties already speaking about this, it is going to be massive political repercussions. Verdict consolidates, ladies and gentlemen, BJP's position as the pro-upper caste party. The BJP can go to town and say we are the only ones who have done something for the sworn or the upper class caste as far as this country is concerned, without diluting the quota for the SC, STs and the OBCs. It will have an immediate impact on the upcoming polls, Himachal Pradesh polls. It will have an impact. Why? Because Himachal Pradesh, predominantly upper caste presence in Himachal Pradesh. In fact, if you add, it's about 50% of the caste ratio in Himachal Pradesh is upper caste. It will also have an immediate bearing on the upcoming Gujarat polls, where the BJP would be able to strengthen its hold on the Patidar community in Gujarat, because the 2017 reservation, the fight was for reservation for the Patels, for the Patidars. The BJP would be able to now say that we'll give it to you from that quota. Over 33% voters are from the upper caste in Gujarat. Now it will also open a Pandora box for other states, any other states like the Maratha agitation in Maharashtra or any other states where the upper caste are fighting, agitating. The governments would be able to use this as an instrument to assuage those fears as far as these communities are concerned. It also, the whole excuse of the 50% ceiling is no longer valid, and states can use this to exceed the existing quota. Very quickly, what have been the political parties saying about this? BJP, of course, welcoming this entire, judgment. BL Santosh has said it's a big boost in the direction for social justice. One surprising, reaction came from, well, not surprising, but reaction, very strong reaction against this verdict came from Tamil Nadu Chief Minister N.K. Stalin. The verdict, a setback for the century-old social justice struggle, is what he has said. Meanwhile, the Congress party, which is very, very cautious as far as this entire reaction is concerned, has welcomed the Supreme Court judgment. But its leaders like Udit Raj, those who have been raising question mark over the Supreme Court, are going to put the Congress party in a bind. For the TMC also, they said it's a historic big step in achieving economic equality. Manoj Jha of the RJD, the government should conduct caste-based census now. This is also a big demand, in fact, coming in from the RJD. When in the parliament enacted this, voted on this, quota, it was RJD which walked out of the parliament. Many political parties, but openly have not been coming out and speaking anything against this. One more interesting fact about this before I move on. CJI Lalit dissented with the majority view in this EWS reservation matter. He is the only second dissenting opinion by the Chief Justice of India in the last 5 years. Before this, it was CJI Kher who had dissented with the majority view in the triple talaq case in 2017. So this is also a rare occurrence. All right, that's your primer as far as the EWS quota is concerned. Let's move out and talk about my last lead. Just take a look at these visuals. Let's just first go full frame. I just want our viewers to see this. Can we just go full frame on these visuals? These images are dangerous. Let me say, please don't ever try this at home anywhere, if you are watching this. These visuals are not from any movie, ladies and gentlemen. The man on top of this luxury car cruising at pretty high speed is Pawan Kalyan, a superstar who needs no introduction. He's also a politician. He, in fact, chose this filmy way to protest. You look at him, sitting like as if he's acting in a movie. I don't have to tell you how many safety norms, laws, traffic violations this would have attracted if you were not Pawan Kalyan. If you would have done this, you would have been behind bars by now. The reason for this daring, dangerous political stunt by Mr. Kalyan was a protest and daring the YSR government in Andhra Pradesh for not letting him meet victims of a demolition drive in Guntur district. It's absolutely baffling why Mr. Pawan Kalyan has not been booked yet, and it's astounding that the man who has millions of followers on Twitter, more than 5 million I believe, has huge fan following, will use such cheap tricks to go viral. What reckless message is he sending to his fans, to his followers? He calls himself people's leader, but should any leader give out a message to break the law with such dangerous stunts? I just want to leave it there. Mr. Pawan Kalyan, you have much better ways to reach to your audience, to reach to your people, to the voters. Don't put yourself and others in danger. Look at the number of people on his car. Very, very dangerous. Don't try this at home. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight on Verified. We'll be back tomorrow with the top stories of the country here on Verified. Thank you so much. Good night.